Hi, I'm Robert Reich. Now, having failed to defeat the Affordable Care Act every other way, Republicans are now hell-bent on destroying it in Americans' minds. Every Republican in Washington has been programmed to use the word disaster whenever mentioning the act. The idea is to make the act so detestable it becomes the fearsome centerpiece of the midterm elections of 2014. Now, admittedly, the president provided Republicans with ammunition by botching the act's rollout. But the president and other Democrats should be stating and restating three larger truths that show the pettiness of the Republican attack. Truth number one, our healthcare system was a wreck. Ours has been the only healthcare system in the world designed to avoid sick people. For-profit insurers have spent billions of dollars finding and marketing their policies to healthy people while rejecting people with pre-existing conditions and routinely dropping coverage of policyholders who become seriously sick or disabled. Now, what else would you expect from corporations seeking to maximize profits? But the social consequences have been absolutely devastating. We've ended up with the most expensive healthcare system in the world. I mean, finding and marketing to healthy people is expensive, and corporate executives are expensive, and profits adequate to satisfy investors and shareholders are expensive. But this has been combined with the worst health outcomes of all rich countries, the highest rates of infant mortality, shortest lifespans, largest portions of populations never seeing a doctor and receiving no preventive care, most expensive uses of emergency rooms. We could not and cannot continue with this travesty of a healthcare system. Second truth, the Affordable Care Act is a modest solution. It still relies on private insurers, merely sets minimum standards and exchanges where customers can compare policies. It requires insurers to take people with pre-existing conditions and not abandon those who get seriously sick, and helps low-income people afford coverage. Now, a single-payer system would have been simpler and more efficient, but Republicans wouldn't even abide a public option to abide into something resembling Medicare. In the end, they would not even go along with the Affordable Care Act, which, ironically, was based on Republican ideas in the first place. And finally, the third truth is that we owe it to each other. The act depends fundamentally on a social compact in which those who are healthier and richer are willing to help those who are sicker and poorer. This kind of a social compact defines a society. The initial problems with the rollout are trifling. Compared to the wreckage of the current system, the modest but important step toward reform embodied in the act, and the moral imperative at the core of the act and of our society. Republicans have created a tempest out of trivialities. It's incumbent on Democrats, from the president on down, to show Americans the larger picture. Thanks.